Hi, I'm Gloria Mindock. We are here today celebrating the life and poetry of Richard Fox. I would like to introduce you to our host, Robin Stratton. Robin published 7 books by Richard and was a close friend. And I give you Robin.
I just want to thank everybody for joining us. It's a really special event. Richard was a very dear friend. He was a wonderful poet. He was a very sweet, gentle man. He was a cancer mentor, and he was just a great human being. And I think that we can all agree that the world is just a little less joyful without him. I met Richard in 2013 when he slipped into the chair next to mine at an open mic, and we began talking. And it just was a friendship that began quickly. And I was so flattered when he asked if I would consider publishing his next book of poetry. And as Gloria said, we went on to publish 7 books together, which is really such an honor. Working together for 10 years, we really did get to know each other, and we did hang out. And he used to send a lot of very chatty emails. And this usually happened when he was hooked up to a chemo machine, sitting in a recliner in the cancer ward. And I was always amazed because he never complained about it. He embraced this activity because it gave him a chance to read, and he did a lot of writing. He connected with a lot of people that way via email. And he was, really offering a lot of support to other people on the same journey that he was on. And when Richard got the news that his last chemo had stopped working and he was going to go into hospice, he did something that I think was really, really special. He let everybody know. And we all got to say how much we loved him, and we all got to say goodbye. And that's really special. And so it's just really an honor to be doing this and to have been his friend. And I want to thank everybody for reading some of his poetry. And we're going to start with Tim.
Hi, I'm going to read. This is a favorite poem of mine by Richards, and I hope I do it justice. 2 faucets. Some like it hot. Schoolgirl pokes tag wires into an electrical outlet, her curious arms charred to elbows. She applies aloe vera potion, the same slathered when sun blisters her shoulders. Varsity pitcher beats out a bunt, wipes palms on her sweat-soaked jersey, takes a long lead. She ambles to her home from the victory bash, gasps muggy air. Bloated belly grumbles beer into bile. College girl wraps a damp cloth around the hissing mocha pot, pours bubbling black gold into her mug. Stretched cats purr on potbelly hearth, petting the molly burns her fingertips. Her storm rattles bedroom windows, naked bodies sizzle on fitted sheets. Radiator vents pressurize steam. Inflamed mist provokes lathered flesh. Others get cold feet. Freshman pushed into icy brook, soaks in grandma's tub, spoons chicken soup. Mother calls mother, bully apologizes, voice banal, pleads for secrecy. Midfielder, last high school match, 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Kick the ice ball once, dribble the pitch, jog home in warm-ups, slip, plummet downhill, snowbank collision, bloody lip. College boy cooks supper, open SpaghettiOs, uncoil heat can, with fork, eat from can. Wash one utensil, Thanksgiving alone, pub grill, Hamburg steak, mashed potatoes, peas, lemon pie. His dog tracks rabbits. He pursues deep snow, sleeping toes, futile chase. Study buddy washes his feet in hot water, her palm a cradle for his neck. She sparkles. He freezes, fears rejection.
Hi, I'm Karen Friedland, and just wanting to say Richard was a friend and also my cancer buddy and mentor. As someone with terminal cancer, his poems really spoke to me, and I really feel like they were raw and true and very helpful to those of us who are going through cancer, as well as people who are fortunate enough not to be. They were very honest, and I'm going to read you two. One is from a book called Time Bomb, and it's called In the Fog, for Darlene. The next chair is open. My nurse seats you, another body in a Johnny, plugs IV pump to PICC line, utters your name. My cotton ball brain stirs. You are my cousin, now infusion room crony. We talk shop. You have 2 ports, I 1. My tumor oral, yours ovarian. We do not say no babies. 2 surgeries for you, radiation for me. I can't swallow. You vomit what you eat. Music gives you migraines. Reading is Mobius for me. Our view is Boston's skyline, toes heated by sunshine, bodies draped in hot blankets. Almost makes being here worth the pain. Nurse brings our next round, petite cups of pills. You chug yours. I force mine down one by one. We compare med colors, contrast bowel movements. You laugh. I hiccup. Not your regular hiccups, industrial strength. We are quiet, my breath held, body spasms. You shiver and grimace. Nurse wraps you in new blankies, changes pouches on the pole. She wears gloves, apron. Chemo burns skin, warning. It chugs along our veins. I call it my battle buddy. 5.5 liters of fluids, plus a diuretic. I grab you a sandwich, lemonade, Toll House cookies. For me, a bottle of water, vanilla pudding cup. We trek to the bathrooms, rolling our twin pumps. Sipping is bee stings, but I can pee chemicals into porcelain bubbles, flush both systems. At your memorial, I learn I was a comfort to you. You were to me too. We can't exchange that memo. And the second is from Once I Was Born to Live, which Robin published not too terribly long ago. And it pretty much sums up where things go when you're a terminal cancer patient, and it's called The Verdict. One last chemo regime or skip to hospice. The penultimate Hobson's choice. What would treatment buy? Efficacy unknown. Side effects unpredictable. Could cost time. Hospice? Textbook. 3 to 6 months expectancy. My cancer's atypical, grows slowly, responds quixotically. Maybe a year, perhaps a month. What do I want that I can have? 7th manuscript, closure for Cassie, fabulous bon voyage party, sadness, not sorrow, time, time, time with the ones I love, my fear leaving them. Dying, a sacred transition. I cherish my parents' passages. We teased, recounted family lore, laughed. My wish, celebrate death as a bookend to life. Once I was born to live. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Martelli, and I'm really honored to be a part of this tribute to Richard, who became a good friend and pressmate at Big Table Publishing. I had the honor and pleasure of working with Richard on one of his books, and we shared a childhood in Revere. So that always made me love him even more. And he became very, very good friends with my childhood friend. So our worlds collided, and I love that. I'm going to read one poem, which starts with an epigraph. Life and death are one thread, the same line viewed from different sides. Lao Tzu. Balance, and this is for Robert I. Haddad, MD. 1. My oncologist enters the exam room, doesn't freeze my nose or insert the hose. He rolls on a stool to me. We sit knee to knee. He whispers, I'm worried. 2. Sunrise, cramps and cause wake me. I stumble to the bathroom, Lloyd alone. A crow asks, are you afraid of dying? I answer, I am. I've never done it before. Thank you. Love you, Richard.
Hi, I'm Lee Desrosiers. I knew Richard for, I think, a couple of years, probably from 2015. I used to go to open mics in Worcester sometimes. And then I got a chance to judge the Frank O'Hara Prize through the Worcester Poetry Association and Worcester Review, and he ended up. I was blind reading everything, and he won first prize that year. So, and I was like, I know you. It was fun and delightful to be able to do that. I also got to blurb one of his books, and he also sent me a book without soliciting, without letting me know. Tim said that happened to him. I'm reading the poem that I picked for the contest. It's called, oh, forgive me, my cat is meowing loudly. I can't stop him. His name is Fred. Ready? Be good. Okay. It's called Skating on the Edge of Flesh, and it's in 2 parts. 1, on Dr. Paul Kalanithi's When Breath Becomes Air. The neurosurgeon cuts to cure. Midnight rounds, early call. His wife waits for her consultation. Ecstasy, saw slicing skull, a scalpel's rivulet. Danger in the drill, thrill in the skill. Sensitive hands, eyes that see what only he can see. Hope for goners. Lung cancer killed the neurosurgeon. I have malignancies in my lungs. We share the Trinity, diagnosis, treatment, death. He views the weight of a tumor on his new MRI, then its shadow camouflaged on the prior. His term, 6 to 12 months, no time off for bad behavior. The neurosurgeon parries death. I understand, words carved into vellum, fingers swollen, steady. Death is the ultimate deadline. I nod my head, tap feet to the beat of his verbs. Book and eyes closed. I see him wink, weep. 2, waltz of my neurosurgeons. Screened for a trial. 3 options to fry cancer invading my lungs. Boggle, a nodule appears in my brain. Time to open my skull to new possibilities. This neurosurgeon consults. I can't say you'll live longer with the surgery. I can say to you that without the surgery, you'll die soon. It's all good, Doc. Give it to me straight. Clean lines don't cause pain. Dead lines rearrange boundaries. The neurosurgeons lead the mortality dance. The guts to cut, to save, to extend. Young, sharp as titanium, repellers of storms. 2 days after surgery, 5 a.m., a couple of neuro residents bounce into my hospital room. One taps my bandage, peels top to bottom, length of the back of my skull, snaps the stained white cloth, rolls it into a ball, tosses a 3-pointer, into the hazardous materials barrel, wedged open by the toe of his cohort. 5 p.m. The curtain between me and my roommate divides. The pair of neurosurgeons enter, arms extended, gentle nods. They stand at the head of the bed, urge the fellows to emerge, form 2 columns. Residents, PAs, red-eyed interns hunker at the bed's tail. I have the most excellent Rasta braid collar to crown. I have the most excellent Rasta braid collar to crown, flayed flesh, black stitches, graying hair. A fellow points to his needlework. The neurosurgeons exclaim, "That boy can sew." One shows me the pre and post MRIs on his phone. He beams, "We got it all, the entire tumor." His feet slide step. He and partner grin, tap fists. They are magnificent, masters of deadly sleight of hand. I bathe in their love of dangerous duty, absence of arrogance, comfortable confidence. My deadline extended.
Hi, I'm Gloria Mindock, and I would like to share with you what a big heart Richard had. When I couldn't make it to visit him with Robin, Jennifer, and Karen, they all did a video expressing how much they missed me, and I remember being so touched by that. And then when my father celebrated his 97th birthday, while Richard was in hospice, he wished my dad a happy birthday. I mean, really, who does that? And I just thought it was so sweet. And his considerate nature has just shown through everything that he has done. Through his books and poems, especially where he wrote about cancer, Richard's words will continue to offer solace and guidance to those with similar challenges. To Richard's friends and family, I want to express that he will hold a special place in my heart and the hearts of everyone here reading today. Rita, 1971. Allegheny Airlines, $35 flight with student ID. Front 2 rows of aircraft base, table between. I race to a window seat, tail view. Rita Coolidge sits next to me. Leon Russell, Henry McCullough, across. She and I pretend I don't know who she is. Leon sleeps, Henry drinks beer, tracks clouds. Rita rubs her hands briskly, pulls a book from her crocheted bag, Black Magic Manual, ancient, leather scored. We gape at illustrations, silently mouth incantations. She leans on me, joins temples, whispers, grips about the tour. Cinnamon chewing gum pops, arpeggio laugh. Flight lands, I stand, offer my hand. Rita engulfs me, sisterly hug, auntie smooch on cheek, souvenir lipstick print, last 3 days.
Hi, I'm Michael Keith. It's an honor to be reading one of Richard's pieces. And when I grow up, I want to be more like his courage and heart. I've got a long ways to go. This piece is from his book, Wandering in Puzzled Boxes. It's titled 1968, and it's for Israel Horowitz. Chins dip to concealed textbooks. Highlighters slide out of sleeves. You mount the podium. A hawk's gaze apprises the house. Then a bellow. Will you strike this school? With the synchrony of a crack platoon, every eye sights on you. Texts thump into book bags. Highlighters seek coat pockets. Whispers shatter stillness. Though noise in chapel is an offense. Crew cuts stare at one another, glare at you, the guest speaker, attacking the war in Vietnam, racism, the military-industrial complex. I am a boy with too long sideburns, subject to student experiments. Could I be squeezed into a locker? How many anti-war flyers fit into my mouth? Could I be spun until I puked? Will you strike this school? You throw a chair across the stage. Students charge the exits. You aim the final volley. Lottery numbers will wake you. I applaud from the center aisle. The one student left in the house, absolved.
Hi, I'm Robin Stratton. I'm back. It's true that Richard did write a lot of autobiographical poems. He wrote a lot about growing up and his cancer, but he also created these little communities of these different recurring characters. So I'm going to be reading one of those poems on behalf of Richard's very dear friend, Susan Tepper. I was glad that she chose this poem because this features some of these characters that came out of Richard's imagination. And this is called Tommy Visits Terri and Her Mom for Mother's Day Weekend. Other boys at Threshold go home for the holiday. They have mothers. Tommy works quiet as a cloud. Mom sleeps. Terri decorates a card. He applies joint compound and tape to wall cracks. She grins. His intent delicacy reminds her of his hands on her body. He scrapes, primes the walls, repairs, remounts a loose cabinet, surveys the kitchen for overlooked blemishes, none. Tommy washes his face in the sink, combs hair, delivers a kiss. Terri serves lunch, grilled cheese, homemade potato chips. He paints the room in Mom's desired colors, cream, taupe for accents. Terri scours floor stains with Tommy's baking soda vinegar mixture. They drink lemonade, eat oatmeal cookies, sign the card as a couple. Toss clothes in the washer, take a long hot shower, curl into a nap. Mom wakes at 6, dresses for the night shift, needs coffee, toast. The revived kitchen, she grabs a chair for balance, opens the card. She finds the kids on Terri's bed, holey white t-shirt with lace collar, plaid boxers, faded, Tommy's cheek, Terri's chest, her palm, his hip. Unlike her mother, Mom stores condoms in easy reach of daughter. Tommy's obligation to be flawless comforts. She reads the card, cries.
I am Susan Roney O'Brien, and I worked with Richard on his last 5 books. Richard Fox's life fills me with gratitude, respect, and joy. He welcomed me into his poetry as though he had been waiting there for me all along. Opened doors, windows, blew out the screens, and allowed me to know his empathy, wisdom, playfulness, and warmth. Richard taught me to say, I love you, even to those of us who had not yet learned to believe those words. I'm reading, it's Tuesday, so this must be Dana Farber. It's from Embracing the Burlesque of Collateral Damage, which was the first book I worked on with Richard. In the elevator, a woman pulls a phone from her purse. A man picks lint off his blue jeans. Yesterday's Globe snaps open. Riders stare at flashing floor numbers. A toddler in a wheelchair sports Brock Holt uniform top. Purple patch over left eye matches right forearm gauze. An IV tube connected to a bag hung on the hook disappears under collar to his port. Nostrils raw from wiping, shine with petroleum jelly. He looks up at my overripe cheeks, into my puffy eyes, nods, points a finger at my face, grins, chuckles. I smile back. He raises a pincushion hand. We bump fists. A ding announces the 7th floor. His parents wheel him out. Twinkling, twinkling. Thank you.
I'm John Hodgen. I'm missing Rich. It seems odd to miss him more every week. It seems fitting somehow. I run a writing workshop at Assumption University for nigh on to 25 years now. And I can remember when Rich joined, he was overwhelmed in a way. I think several teachers he had and a librarian that he had at Worcester Academy when he was just a little kid. And if anyone wants a great picture of Richard when he was a little kid, I've got one sitting in a classroom at Worcester Academy, alert even then. And he wanted to write, and he feverishly had that in him even then. I loved early on, he seemed to want to establish his own writing style. He for a while, he was at war with the words a, and the, and he kept trying to write poems without that word. I finally took him aside and said that Margaret Mitchell didn't write Gone with Wind, and that he could trust a the once in a while. He could be okay with that. And I loved him even then. He was like a little brother. He just loved being there. And as it turned out, his very last meeting with me, everybody else in the group was canceling, but I knew it was getting close, and I knew it was important, and I'll treasure it. His last meeting, we sat together on Zoom for 2 hours and just looked at his last 4 poems, and I treasure that. I think we both knew that might be it. Several people have spoken about how he could make poems, but he could also make these narratives. He could do this autobiographical thing and these narrative poems where he just made people up and made us believe in them. And he'd have to take a chance at dialogue and see if he could make that convincing. And each time he brought one of those, we all really enjoyed that rollicking ride of one more adventure. So right at the end, I guess I'm trying to say that right at the end, he was doing that too. And it is autobiographical, no matter how we may try to make it seem as if it weren't. This is rich. It's called Daphne, and it's kind of a young high school kid moment where he and a friend and another friend and then a sister's friend snuck off to a place called Echo Lake. Daphne. Mama orders Stella, take Daphne along with you. Stella rolls her eyes, but she's in high school, so lame. She embarrasses me in front of my friends. Mama tells Daphne to behave and Stella to grow up. Daphne grabs her bag, yells, I'll be a junior in September. She runs out to the waiting car. Stella stomps behind her. Little girl, you sit in back with Travis and keep your mouth shut. Doors open. Sorry, guys, I'm stuck babysitting my baby sister. Matt looks at Daphne, winks. Hey, Trav, you finally got a date. She blushes, grins at Matt. He doesn't treat her like a child. They seek the remedy for August heat. Echo Lake. She scans the car. No towels, no bathing suits. 12-pack Narragansett. Matt lights a joint. Stella shakes her head wildly. Matt laughs. Hey, Stell, no worries. Your sis is groovy. Won't want to get me in trouble. Stella glares. Listen, little shit. One word to mama, you're dead meat. Travis mouths, oh. Don't be alarmed. She'll have to go through me first. Travis takes a long drag, offers it to Daphne, suggests a toking hack. She inhales, coughs. He rubs her back, gives her his beer to sip. Matt turns Electric Ladyland to max volume. Window breeze whistles in harmony with Jimmy. Daphne's mouth feels dry. The car enters a gravel road, parks at a barrier chain. Doors open. Matt and Stella entwine, kiss, staggering through small stones. Travis balances the beer on his shoulder, offers Daphne his free hand. She hopes her palm isn't sweaty, trips in a ditch, falls into Travis. Half-mile in, they reach the basin. Boulders border the road, serve as leaping points to the surface, 4 feet below. They undress, will swim in underwear. Stella needles her sister. You coming in or gonna hide like a little girl? 3 splashes, laughter. Daphne removes her shorts, pauses. She isn't wearing a bra like her sister, leaves her top on. She pikes into the water, side strokes toward the deep, circles back, watches Travis stash the beer in a nook between submerged rocks. Want to share a brew? She nods, leans on the reeds next to him. She feels ecstatic. Wavelets lap her waist. Sun rays warm her chest. Everything's crystal, shimmers, flows. Travis fires up another. Daphne glances at her top, wet white cotton. From the far shore, muffled moans, heavy breathing, husky voices. Daphne blushes, stares at rolled paper, glowing ash, her fingernails. Travis chuckles. Nice to have company, not be alone when those 2 run off. She remains silent. He continues. You know they love each other, but it's embarrassing to have to sit and listen to them rut. Maybe we should sing That's What Friends Are For? She giggles, pops him in the shoulder. He mouths, ouch. She notices his eyes avoid her boobs. Daphne, you're wise for your age. Stella was pissed, took it out on you. You didn't take the bait, pick a fight. If your sister learns to trust you, life could become kinder. Maybe. I'll gain a friend to hang out with by the pond. A flock of clucking Canada geese cross the sky. The lake becomes quiet, save the shore releasing ripples. Travis shoos a yellow jacket away from Daphne's cheek. Her eyes close, chin rises, breath held. Just a kind of a sweet, young part of your life story. I love him in the story. He's Travis, of course. I love him saying maybe the world could become kinder. This is the last poem. It's called Ketamine, and I don't know anything. I know it's a treatment you can get in hospice that feels like a hallucinogenic way to drift into another consciousness. He spoke of it twice, of how much it made him feel deeper in touch with himself, knowing what mattered to him. So much of his relaying of those was stunning for the rest of us in the group. So imagine a kind of hallucinogenic experience where you're aware that your time here is short and you take in and respect and love. I wouldn't say love is the wrong word. I think you love each moment that waves over you in a moment like this. If that makes any help at all. He begins, ketamine. Clinician keeps apologizing. 6 unsuccessful attempts to place an IV. I'm a cancer patient in hospice. Needle burn, not worthy of notice. Ready myself for ketamine. Focus. Recite my goals. Don't sleep all day. Don't be depressed. Don't be afraid of death. Finally, a clean blood return, sterile dressing, blanket tuck, closed back noise canceling earphones, click serene on the playlist. Raise recliner leg rest, lower blackout eye mask, isolate. Pump starts. Drug intrudes. Body detaches. Music. Ride baseline. Crisp, clear, solitary. Sense player's emotions. Delicate string vibration. Suggest the instrument rejoin its companions. Choose another to mount. Recite my goals. Tenor sax interrupts. Demands devotion. Recite goals. New track. Soprano voice. Feral scat. Recite morphed goals. Celebrate hospice. Embrace love. Seek gratitude. Move. Do. Samba revelation. Must play Sgt. Pepper next infusion. Essential. Insight. Playlist ends. Silence. Vacuum. Thoughts ping pong. Revere Beach breaststroke. Echo Lake. Naked breaths. Leanne confiscates keys. Wake on her floor. Thunderstorm. Airline trail. Scramble above tree line. Barefoot. Goals. Celebrate. Be. Pump stops. IV pulled. Drift. Slide off eye mask. Remove earphones. Close tablet. Lower leg rest. Recognize room. Rise.
Hello, my friends. I'm very sorry that I can't be with you. This is a difficult time for us all. Regrettably, I have to be elsewhere. So, I'd like to share a poem from Wandering in Puzzle Boxes by Richard Fox, who was very special to us all, who I met almost a decade ago, and, well, the only way to really put it is he was a better man, a better poet, and a better friend than I was. I was honored to know him. Anyway, we chit-chatted quite a bit, and this is one of the poems that we talked about. Yeah. I definitely identify with this poem. It is called To Katrina, Wherever You Are, XOXO, from Wandering in Puzzle Boxes. I drive the mass plague past your city. well, it was your city in 1969. We were juniors in high school. A 30-mile romance meant bus rides and walks from the station. Your dad and my dad agreed it was too far, too fast for novice operators. We'd eat dinner with your parents and sister. I was quizzed about school, the fish market, when they'd leave for a movie or the mall. You'd grab Monopoly or Life, open the box, arrange the board to mid-game, and then we'd leap onto the couch. Mouth mash. Your braces bruised my gums, but I didn't care. When lips were too sore to collide, our eyes traced track like halos. My arms rested on your shoulders. Your hands clapped my waist. Our legs lurched until finding purchase. Laughing as much as talking, we defied gravity. Parents, homework, jobs. When we heard the garage door rail, a quick kiss brought us to bridge chairs, the table, the board. One of us threw dice. Your mom, dad, sister came in the room, our faces bright red, our lips swollen. Sister hugged us. Your parents acted as if they believed we were playing a game. 45 years later, I still grin and touch my tongue where carved gums drove me into daydreams of you, while my teachers' mouths shaped lessons or my knife skinned fillets with one stroke. That was Katrina. If I may take this moment, since you can't stop me, I'm going to read one from his new book. Oh, let me get that in the camera. Upside Down. Yeah, this came and is an absolutely wonderful book, but a real quick one. This one is entitled Deja New, and as it happens, about 1.5 miles from where I'm sitting right now is a thrift store with the same name, Deja New. They're actually a wonderful place. They donate most of their proceeds to the Leicester Food Bank, but yeah, Deja New is very familiar to me, so the title alone jumped out. Deja New. Dad smiles from his hospice bed, asked, how'd the Red Sox do today? Out the windows, snow falls. Dad, it's December, Patriot season. His tongue pokes his cheeks. Well, how'd they do this season? I grin. They won the World Series. Dad beams, mouth opens wide. They did? He claps his hands, hoots. How about that? Deja New. As much as I regret being there, I regret the loss and the reason for the meeting in the first place. I hope you all were touched by Richard as much as I was, and I hope that we remember him far longer than other Worcester poets. Let's hope he outlasts Elizabeth Bishop and Stanley Kunitz, right? Let's push Richard Fox poetry. Thank you all for allowing me to hog some time. Come give me a visit at the Bite Size Studios, and I look forward to seeing you all in person soon. Take care. Bye.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Freed, and I'm going to read 2 poems by Richard. I'll just say that I first met him through poetry around the year 2014. The first poem I'll read is Things Dad Said Over Lunch, which is in this book. And I like this poem because of the way it honors his father and also the way we all affect each other's lives, even when we don't know it. Things Dad Said Over Lunch. Be polite. Always ask the waitress how her day is going. Tip well. She's on the ball, does her job proudly. When you own a company, you're never too good to clean toilets. If you're short-staffed, fill gaps. Outwork everyone. Every employee is family. When they have trouble, fix it. Take care of the health. They take care of the business. Blame is vain. Take full responsibility for your people. If someone makes a mistake, own it as yours. Being direct and truthful is being fair. Secrets bite liars in the ass. One day, you'll fire someone you like for cause. Be ready. The customer is always right, even when they're wrong. Win arguments, but lose sales? That's fool's pride. If you can't find a middle ground, part on good terms. Reputations are built by handshakes, not contracts. Write budgets assuming the worst, then knock off 5%. Only buy fish from the top of the boat. And the second poem I'll read is the very next poem in the same book, Let Sleep Bless Our Arrival. And this is called Visiting Hour. And this poem resonates with me for various reasons, one of which is the last line, which seems characteristic of Richard's mode of being in the world. Visiting Hour. Mom tracks my movements as I edge between wall and bed to stand over her. Her live pupil peeks through lashes. Lids part deliberately. Iris reflects sunlight. I speak distinctly. Love you, Mom. The dead eye never blinks. Unyielding mound of flesh. Ragged. Rust scar deflates me. A glass eye had served as illusion for 40 years. Mutilation denied. A flaw only she saw. Mom dreams, barely here. Still socket a sentry. I stare, fascinated. Won't look away.
Hello, my name is Chloe Mcfeters, and I'd like to start by just thanking Robin and Gloria for bringing us together and for inviting me to join all of you in celebrating the life and the writing of our dear friend Richard, whose presence we so deeply miss tonight, I know. It's an honor to share in this tribute with each of you. I actually first met Richard through Robin. We both knew her as our publisher and a cherished friend, but our paths didn't cross until around 2015 or 2016, I think. At the time, I was hosting a contest and reached out to Robin to see if she had any fellow Big Table authors who might be interested in offering their books as prizes for the winners. As one can imagine, Richard generously sent some books along, and that was how I first became acquainted with his poetry and with his humor and kindness. One of the contest winners, Marion Cohen, is a cancer survivor. And as many of us know and have spoken about, Richard wrote so honestly and so vulnerably about his own journey with cancer. So I believed that prize would be a good fit for her. And as it turned out, they thought so too. And this became the foundation of a beautiful friendship among the three of us, one that deepened as the years went on. Over time, I learned that Richard and I shared many things in common, including a fervent love of the Boston Red Sox, New England ice cream parlors, and of course, a shared passion for poetry. It was always a pleasure when Richard would share something new that he had written. The last poem he sent to me was Daphne, which you've heard this evening. During our final visit together in June, Richard recounted some captivating tales from his youth, one of which involved some summer antics with friends at Echo Lake as teenagers. And I urged him strongly to pen down that memory, told him that he had to write a poem about that. And then, just a few days before his passing, he sent me what he had written. And he explained in his message that he had aimed to capture the memory but the poem had its own idea. And I sat for a long while after reading his message and his poem, really reflecting on Richard's unwavering commitment to his craft, as many have spoken about, even in his final days. He was still expressing what sought to be expressed. He was still telling stories. He loved poetry. He found purpose and play in it. And that dedication that he had to let his muse guide him, and the courage to put it into words, were aspects of him that I deeply admired. When I first met Richard, his cancer had made a resurgence, and I seem to recall that at the time he was given a prognosis of around 2 years. But then life, like his final poem to me, had its own idea. And this leads me to one of the profound lessons that I've come to understand, and even better now because of him. That so often in life and so often in the creative process, so many elements remain outside of our control. And I believe that our response, our dance with these uncertainties, defines our journey. It can make all the difference. And just as Richard allowed his poems to take their own shape, he approached life with the same grace and fluidity. He taught me more about dancing with life's, unpredictabilities than anyone else. His example truly showed me how to live more deeply, to cherish every moment, to share genuinely and generously from one's heart, and to harness curiosity, creativity, and compassion as companions for the journey. I told him often how grateful I was for the gift of his life. I wasn't stingy with it, and I think that he understood. He was a warm and a gentle light in this world, a rare gift, and definitely, yes, an inspiration to many people. I will never eat another ice cream sundae without smiling and thinking of him. And I certainly intend to keep his poetry and his wisdom close to my heart. Tonight, I've been asked to read 2 of Richard's poems, both from his collection, You're My Favorite Horse. And this first poem emerged from a creative project that Richard and I collaborated on. During that project, as part of it, I provided a prompt, something along the lines of, if you could speak to your cancer, if you could say anything to it, what would that be? What would you say? At the time, I really wasn't even sure if Richard had taken note of it at all, but a few months later, he messaged me and he reached out with a poem that answered that very question. He said that he had been giving it a lot of thought, and he included a video of him reciting it at an open mic event, mentioning, to my surprise, that he had dedicated the poem to me. And I was deeply moved by that gesture. And I couldn't agree with him more about the title. Feeling that strongly this evening. Right, here it is. Cancer sucks. Yeah, I know. That's trite, overused. Bite me. Cancer, to you, miracle debunks statistical improbability. Cancer, you kill me, you kill you. Dude, are you suicidal? A microcellular terrorist? Cancer, you stamped an expiration date on my ass. Why can't I read it in the mirror? Cancer. You turn me into a chatty Cathy when I have blood drawn or an EKG or a growth lanced. Clinicians have long days with doomed patients. Figure it's my job to provide laughter. Pain, not the priority, rather the punchline. I want the applause of razors rending my skin. Cancer. I shuffle in place, drool, adjust a face mask, rip off a dried bandage, fail to ace a flip to the corner trash can. Cancer. I honor my quest. Cancer. If I know I'm dying in days, should I order that cane from Amazon? Cancer, you flapping freeloader. Will you slay me from throat, lung, brain, or a random organ to be named later? Cancer. Thanks for getting me cute little square steroids. Green is my favorite color. 3 sleepless nights can be a drag, but 3 manic runs of infomercials is a hoot. Cancer. That expiration date, I appreciate knowing. Being able to say what I want to say to the people I love, hear their words for me. Dying without warning would be crude, an untold, undone mess splattered onto survivors. Cancer. We live together. As beloveds, besiegers, you take food without asking, never clean after your parties, leave diarrhea on the toilet seat. I had a flatmate like you in college. Him I got rid of with a month's rent check. Cancer. I mean, what the fuck? Cancer. Are we traveling together? Is dying younger an early admission? A kinder world? Family? Friends? My dogs? Cancer. Are you an angel in disguise? Shredded nylon wings, makeup caked, stray, vomit, piss, blood, shit. Cancer. A topaz blade sparkles between azure teeth. You balance a blinding beam in one hand, gesture with the other. The second poem, Frog and Toad Are Friends, holds special significance for me. Firstly, I have a personal connection to it as I cherished that book as a young girl. Secondly, the book is a testament to the power of friendship and the ways in which friends support, uplift, and understand each other. Richard knew all about that. He was a great friend, adored by great friends. And lastly, one of the other qualities in Richard that I deeply admired was his boundless love for his family. His beloved wife, Anne, his siblings, his sons. He wasn't shy about letting us know that they were his everything. And for me, this next poem encapsulates that sentiment. Frog and Toad are friends. I glance out the bathroom window. My young son plays with a red ball. Toss, chase, toss, chase. The swing set has a fort at its base. A fawn lies inside, nibbles clover. My son approaches from the rear. Fawn inches out through the lattice, steps away, sniffing the lawn. My son squats where the fawn lay, rolls his red ball. I rinse my razor, glance out again. My sister, on the porch of her house, hands my son a translucent pail, filter in the center. He scoops mud into it, runs to a puddle, grabs handfuls of clay, looks uphill at the stone wall. My son enters the bathroom, his turn to shave. I ask him to look out the window. Can he see himself as a toddler? I tell him this view is the apex of my happiness. He spies a toad leaping across the grass. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is a poem called Do What I Know. Planning my funeral feels familiar. Line up poems, tune in songs, create a program, calming the house. Sequence for effect, laughter, tears, no rehearsal. Single staging, transform errors into improvisations. My last feature, perform and pretend, muted, front row, box seat. Thank you, everyone, so much for being part of this. And Richard, thank you so much for everything you gave us. We love you. This is